Dear friends, Pinotuni, thank you for joining with us again today to our daily Buddha Puja, chanting, Dhamma talk and Metta meditation. So we started this from the 5th of July and we are continuing this series of religious observances during the Rains Retreat until October 24th. So today the sponsors are Mr. and Mrs. Kodaguda, Mr. Prasad and Janaki Kodaguda, along with their daughter Lituli and friends to remember Mr. Prasad's mother who passed away 3 months ago. So this morning they brought food and offered to the Buddha and the Sangha. And today, this evening, they are also sponsoring the Buddha Puja to bless the departed mother. May she be well, happy and peaceful wherever she is. May she rejoice in our good deed and make her life happy wherever she is. Ultimately, may she attain the blissful state of Nibbana. So with those kind intentions, the Kodaguda family are sponsoring us and making this event available for you. So, as usual, we are going to observe 5 precepts and then do Buddha Puja and then chant and then reflect on the Dhamma and do Metta meditation. It should take around an hour. So if you are joining us, and you can also tune into YouTube channel lmmc.line or refer your friends who might benefit from this religious observance during this lockdown time. And daily practice will make your habit good, so that you can dedicate at least an hour in the evening to religious observances. So we hope you will join daily. But for now, to start our puja, say Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa to observe 5 precepts. Buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi, Sanghaṃ saranam gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Sanghaṃ saranam gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Sanghaṃ saranam gacchāmi. Pānātipātā vīramani sikkhapaдаṃ samādhiyāmi. Adinādāna vīramani sikkhapadaṃ samādhiyāmi. Kāmesu miccācārā vīramani sikkhapadaṃ samādhiyāmi. Musāvādā vīramani sikkhapadaṃ samādhiyāmi. Surāmiraya majjapamā datthānā vīramani sikkhapaдаṃ samādhiyāmi. තිසරණේන සද්ධෙන් පංචශීලං ධම්මං අප්පමාදේන සම්පාදේ තබ්බං. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. ඉතිපිසෝ භගවා අරහං සම්මා සම්බුද්ධෝ විජ්ජාචරණ සම්පන්නෝ සුගතෝ ලෝකවිදු අනුත්තරෝ පුරිස ධම්මසාරථි සත්තා දේව මනුස්සානං බුද්ධෝ භගවාති. බුද්ධං ජීවිතං යාව නිබ්බානං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි. යේච බුද්ධා අතීතා ච යේච බුද්ධා අනාගතා පච්චප්පන්නා ච යේ බුද්ධා අහං වන්දාමි සබ්බදා. නත්ථි මේ සරණං අඤ්ඤං බුද්ධෝ මේ සරණං වරං. ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන හෝතු මේ ජය මංගලං. උත්තමංගේන වන්දේහං පාදපං සුවරුත්තමං. බුද්ධේයෝ කලිතෝ දෝසෝ බුද්ධෝ කමතු තං මමං. ස්වාක්ඛාතෝ භගවතා ධම්මෝ සන්දිට්ඨිකෝ අකාලිකෝ ඒහි පස්සිකෝ ඕපනයිකෝ පච්චත්තං වේදිතම්බෝ විඤ්ඤෝහිති. ධම්මං ජීවිතං යාව නිබ්බානං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි. යේච ධම්මා අතීතා ච යේච ධම්මා අනාගතා පච්චප්පන්නා ච යේ ධම්මා අහං වන්දාමි සබ්බදා. නත්ථි මේ සරණං අඤ්ඤං බුද්ධෝ මේ සරණං වරං. ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන හෝතු මේ ජය මංගලං. උත්තමංගේන වන්දේහං ධම්මං ච ත්‍රිවිධං වරං. ධම්මේයෝ කලිතෝ දෝසෝ ධම්මෝ කමතු තං මමං. සුපටිපන්නෝ භගවතු ශාවක සංඝෝ උජ්ජපටිපන්නෝ භගවතු ශාවක සංඝෝ ඥායපටිපන්නෝ භගවතු ශාවක සංඝෝ සාමීචි පටිපන්නෝ භගවතු ශාවක සංඝෝ. යදිදං චත්තාරි පුරිස යුගානි අට්ඨ පුරිස පුග්ගලා ඒස භගවතු ශාවක සංඝෝ. ආහුනේයෝ පාහුනේයෝ දක්ඛිනේයෝ අංජලි කරණීයෝ. අනුත්තරං පුඤ්ඤක්ඛෙත්තං ලෝකස්සාති. සංඝං ජීවිතං යාව නිබ්බානං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි. යේච සංඝා අතීතා ච යේච සංඝා අනාගතා Pacchuppanna caye sangha ahang vandami sabbada Natti me saranang anyang sangho me saranang varang Etena sacca vajjena hotu me jaya mangalang Uttamangena vandehang sanghang ceti vidottamang Sangheyo khalito doso sangho khamatu tang mamang Ganasarappa dittena dīpena tamadhangsina Tiloka dīpang sambuddhang pujayami tamonudang Gandha sambhara yuttena dhupenahang sugandhina Pujaye pujaniyantang puja bhajana muttamang Vanna gandha gunopetang etang kusuma santating Pujayami munindassa siripada saroruhe Pujemi buddhang kusumena nena punyena metena ca hotu mokkhaṃ Pupphaṃ milayati yatha idamme Kāyo tathāyāti vināsa bhāvaṃ Adhivāsetu no bhante pānīyaṃ parikappitaṃ Anukampaṃ upādāya patiganhātu uttama Adhivāsetu no bhante gilāna paccayaṃ imaṃ Anukampaṃ upādāya patiganhātu uttama Adhivāsetu no bhante sabbaṃ saddhāya pūjitaṃ Anukampaṃ upādāya patiganhātu uttama Vandāmi cetiyaṃ sabbaṃ sabbathāni supatitthitaṃ Sāririka dhātu mahābodhiṃ buddha rūpaṃ sakalaṃ sadā Yassa mule nisinnova sambhari vijayaṃ akā Patto sabbaññutaṃ sattha Vande taṃ bodhipādapaṃ Ime ete mahābodhi lokanathena pujitā Aham pite namassāmi bodhirāja namattute Kāyena vācā cittena pamādena maya kataṃ accayaṃ khamame bhante bhuri pañña tathāgata kāyena vācā cittena pamādena maya kataṃ accayaṃ khamame dhamma sanditthika akālika kāyena vācā cittena pamādena maya kataṃ accayaṃ khamame sangha supatipanna anuttara Etāvatā ca amhehi sambhataṃ puñya sampadaṃ sabbe devā anumodantu sambha sampatti siddhiyā Etāvatā ca amhehi sambhataṃ puñya sampadaṃ Sambe bhuta anumodantu Sambha sampatti siddhya Ettavata ca amhehi Sambhatang punya sampadang Sambe satta anumodantu Sambha sampatti siddhya Idamme ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo Idamme ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo Idamme ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo Imina punya kammene mami bala samagamo Satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya Idamme punyang asavakkaya vahang hotu Sambha dukkha pamuncatu Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. So now we are going to chant Ratana Sutta. We have been chanting Ratana Sutta and Giriman Sutta alternatively. Today we are going to chant Ratana Sutta, especially during this pandemic time, for your good health, happiness and success, and especially when you are under lockdown restrictions, you might also feel anxiety and distress. So may the chanting, may the listening to the chanting be helpful for your peace of mind, as well as provide you protection and happiness throughout. So, as usual, we also dedicate this chanting to everyone who is affected by illnesses, even such as COVID-19. May they all have speedy recovery. May they gain good health and enjoy good health consistently. We also dedicate this chanting to you as online community participating for your good health, well-being, and as always to the key workers and especially the NHS staff, doctors, nurses working tirelessly to look after the patients and to also look after the family members of the patients. Most importantly, may they gain every courage and determination to continue their services. So please listen to the chantings with great attention and respect. So Samanta Cakkavalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajassa Sunantu Saggamokkadang Parittassavana Kalo Ayang Bhadanta Parittassavana Kalo Ayang Bhadanta Paritta Dhamma Savana Kalo Ayang Bhadanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Yani Bhutani Samagatani Bhummani Vayani Vayantalikhe Sabbeva Bhuta Sumana Bhavantu Athopi Sakkacca Sunantu Bhasitam Tasmahi Bhutani Sametha Sabbe Mettam Karotha Manusiya Pajaya Divacharatto Chaharanti Baling Tasmahi Nirakkata Appamatta Yankinchi vittang idhavahurang va sagge suvayang ratanang panitang Nano samang atti tathagatena idampi buddhe ratanang panitang Etena saccena suvatti hotu Khayang viragang amatang panitang yadajjaga sakke muni samahito Natena dhammena samatti kinci idampi dhamme ratanang panitang Etena saccena suvatti hotu Yang buddha settha parivannai sucing samadhimanantarikanyamahu Samadhinatena samona vijjati idampi dhamme ratanang panitang Etena saccena suvatti hotu Ye puggala atta satang pasattha cattari etani yugani honti Te dakhineya sugatassa savaka ete sudinnani mahaphalani Idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Ye suppayutta manasa dalhena nikamino gotama sasanam hi Te patti patta amatang vigaihe laddha mudha nibbuting bhunjamana Idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Yathinda khilo pathaving sitosiya chatubhivātebhi asampakampiyo Tathupamang sappurisang vadami yo ariya saccāni avecca passati Idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Ye ariya saccāni vibhāvayanti gambhīra paññena sudesitāni Kincāpi te honti busappamattā nate bhavang attamang ādiyanti Idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Sahavassa dassana sampadāya tayassu dhamma jahitā bhavanti Sakkāya diṭṭhi vicikiccitanca sīlabbataṃ vāpi adatti kinci Chatuha pāyehi ca vippamutto cacābhiṭhānāni abhabbo kātum Idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Kincāpi sokammang karoti pāpakang kāyena vācā udacētasāvā Abhabbo so tassa paticchādāye abhabbatā diṭṭha padassa vuttā Idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Vanappa gumbe yatha pussitagge gimhanamase pathamasmin gimhe Tathupamang dhammavarang adesai nibbānagaming paramang hitāya Idampi buddhe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Varo varanya varado varaharo anuttaro dhammavarang adesai Idampi buddhe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Khinang puranang navang natti sambhavang viratta citta ayatike bhavasming Te khina bija avirulhichhanda nibbanti dhīra yathāyang padipo Idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Yāni dabhutāni samāgatāni bhummāni vāyāni vayantalikhe tathāgataṃ deva manussa pūjitaṃ buddhaṃ namassāma suvatti hotu. Yāni dabhutāni samāgatāni bhummāni vāyāni vayantalikhe tathāgataṃ deva manussa pūjitaṃ Dhammaṃ namassāma suvatti hotu. Yāni dabhutāni samāgatāni bhummāni vāyāni vayantalikhe tathāgataṃ deva manussa pūjitaṃ Saṅghaṃ namassāma suvatti hotu. Etena sacca vajjena sabba dukkhaṃ vinassatu. Etena sacca vajjena sabba bhayo vinassatu. Etena sacca vajjena sabba rogo vinassatu. Sambhitiyo vivajjantu sabba rogo vinassatu. Māte bhavattvantarayo sukhi dīghāyuko bhave. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakkhantu sabba devata. Sabba buddhānubhāvena sadā sotte bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakkhantu sabba devata. Sabba dhammānubhāvena sadā sotte bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakkhantu sabba devata. Sabba saṅghānubhāvena sadā sotte bhavantu te. Devo vassatu kālena sassa sampatti hetu ca. Pīto bhavatu loko ca rājā bhavatu dhammiko. Ākāsattha ca bhummattha devā nāgā mahiddhikā. Puñyantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu loka sāsanaṃ. Ākāsattha ca bhummattha devā nāgā mahiddhikā. Puñyantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu dhamma desanaṃ. Ākāsattha ca bhummattha devā nāgā mahiddhikā. Puñyantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu maṃ paranti. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so you have been joining us so far with our live broadcast of our evening Buddha Puja, chanting, Dhamma talk, Dhamma discussion or Dhamma reflection and Metta Bhavana towards the end. So during this Vassana retreat we are holding this continuously until 24th of October. That is the day when we have our Kathina robe offering ceremony. So today's sponsorship the puja was made available to you by Mr. Prasad and Mrs. Janaki Kodaguda along with their daughter Lithuli. They would like to remember Mr. Prasad's beloved mother who passed away 3 months ago. So by the accumulation of merit, by doing Buddha Puja, by observing precepts and listening to the chanting, may she be well, happy and peaceful wherever she is. May she attain the blissful state of Nibbana eventually. So this morning they came to the temple to offer dana as well as to listen to the Dhamma sermon and transfer merit. Okay, so we hope you will join us to fulfill their righteous intention in transferring and sharing the merit now as well. Okay, so as I said, devotees are sponsoring this event throughout the Vassa retreat. So if you would like to dedicate your sponsorship for someone else, please do contact us and we will direct you to the relevant personnel so that they can help you in booking the date and sponsoring the puja and Dhamma sermon. So ever since we started this series of Dhamma reflection since 5th of July, We have been looking at the verses from Dhammapada. So if you are new and have just joined us, Dhammapada is a book that has lots of sayings of the Buddha, not in the sequence as it is, but in a collected sayings or like advices given the situation. So there are about 423 verses, and we have been looking at the first few verses so far. So we hope to continue in future, along with that. So I'd still like to stay with the 7th and 8th stanza. So yesterday, if you remember, the highlighted, full of sustained energy, or virya, is what we discussed yesterday. So a quick recollection. So whoever lives, contemplating on the natures of life without looking for pleasure, and have their senses controlled, full of faith, instead of being idle and lazy, and develop full of sustained energy, this person will not be overthrown by Mara or temptation, as the wind would not throw down a mountain. So that is the 8th stanza. The 7th stanza is the opposite. It is about how a weak person might be thrown or put down by the wind, as the wind would put down a shaky tree. So yesterday throughout we discussed how this energy, or how this application of energy in practices are helpful and important to your spiritual practice. So today I'd like to focus on the word faith, so having faith, and the word is Saddhā, and that will be a discussion for a couple of sessions, but I will try to give an overview for today. So the word Saddhā, is about upholding goodness. There are lots of translations, lots of meanings, but I'd like to share just a few reflections to see how Buddhism would look at the word Saddhā. Okay, so going back to the Buddha's time, obviously there are lots of types of faith, and you might want to call it religions, or you might want to call it belief systems, and all of them, obviously existed. Some died out quickly, some happened to gain longer, followers in the longer run. But there is one thing that is quite common in religions, would be, and maybe religions or even philosophies, that lots of this is based on our human suffering, perhaps unhappiness. If perhaps people were not unhappy with what is happening, or if people are happy always, maybe the need of religion, might not be in some cases, and so in those days, it was a similar pattern, So, but again, obviously the rise of Buddhism was quite significant in many ways, because during those times there were about, one of the among all the beliefs that the Buddha sort of rejected, one of them was about rejecting that everything happened due to previous karma. That was rejected by the Buddha, Pubbhe kata hetuvada. So everything does not happen due to karma, and the Buddha's explanation was that certain things do happen, depending on the conditions, and therefore we discuss this quite briefly when we discuss karma, and when it arises again we will go in depth. The second thing that the Buddha rejected out of the few belief system was that Issara-nimmanavada, or the concept of our happiness being created by God, or being given by God, or with even creation. So therefore you can see Buddhism has not got a central focus on the creator concept, So the origin of universe or even God. Nothing has this creator concept. So Buddhism is quite away from that. All denominations of Buddhism accept that there is no creator God. Because human experience was more or less down to your personal circumstance and personal living. So some time ago we discussed that our present situation, as I said, could be due to past karma, or could be due to current situations. And if you go into the niyama dhammas, you will see that this niyama dhamma has come as one of those 5 niyama dhammas. So Utu niyama, which is the seasonal or environmental. Bija would be like genetic. Kamma, and then chitta, your state of mind. And when you look at the word chitta, that state of mind is coming from the conditions or the opportunities that lay at the present moment. So your reaction or your experience with certain things happening now, would be the state of mind that you create. So that would be the chitta niyama. So your sadness and your happiness, everything is due to the current situation or current experience that we are experiencing. So if we are remembering something and becoming sad, then we are actually again recalling a memory and becoming sad, and something that is not here now. If you are worrying about future, then it is also something that which we are experiencing and anticipating some sort of fear or insecurity sometimes. So you can see that sometimes it is because of our the state of mind. However, we tend to create ourselves. So therefore, Chitta Niyama is one of the things that Buddhism works on a little bit, so that if we actually consciously, if we actually manage our current state, perhaps we can be in charge of our own future. We can redesign or recreate your path. We can change your track. So simply, taking this as that you can, manage yourself for the next second to next day to next month, next week, next year. It is based on the decision that you take now, here and now. It is the choice that you make with the circumstances that are available for you. So you can see that there would be no space for fate or destiny in Buddhism, because it's not pre-planned. Your life is not planned. Your life, you are in charge and can take charge. You can make use of the circumstances. You can find alternatives. If we worked in a fate or destiny or pre-planned situation, predestination, then there would be a place for creation or the intervention of a foreign agency or external agency. So therefore, Buddhism actually, when the Buddha came, and the 5th niyama, before I forget, the 5th niyama is of the Dhamma niyama. I mean, us being old, when we become ill, it's not because of someone else. It's because of something that we are in the process of change. And the impermanence is, we are subject to impermanence. So getting old or becoming ill or dying is not because of someone else or God or something. That is because of the Dhamma. That is because of the true nature of life that we experience, that we act full, that we are in. We are made of things, and when the conditions cease to exist, then we also cease to exist. So there are conditions that come about, sankharas, and then when they are, when the idang, when A exists, the B will come about, and if A is ceasing, B will cease. So when you look at this sort of theorem, we can see that actually there is no place for as centrally for some sort of a Issarinima or creation concept. So therefore, when we look at this, we can see that the Buddha was actually trying to give more control, for yourself. Liberation is in your hand. Your salvation, or whatever you want to call it, or freedom or happiness, is in your own hands. So that's why lots of us would like to call whatever we practice in Buddhism as a DIY. We can do it ourselves. The Buddha has, as the wise teacher, has given us the treasure map. We just have to trod the path. Akkhataro tathāgata. Even the Buddha cannot take you from A to B. You have to do it yourself. The Buddha will not take you from A to Z. Okay, so tumhe kiccang attapang akkhataro tathāgata. You are the one that has to trod the path. And attadipa viharata. You are the one that will find freedom and liberation for yourself. If we are to fall in a hole or a ditch, if you are to fall in a hole, you won't say, this is my karma, this is my destiny. You would want to get out of it, and you would want to find every means to get out of it. So you can see that when there is this, so when we are given this freedom, this freedom of then we are more free. We have more sort of happiness. We are not scared. There is no fear. There is no insecurity. Because if you look at those existing belief systems, then which some of them don't exist now. Obviously, they were all because of the insecurity people had in their lives, because of the fear, because of the anxiety that they had in their lives, and failing to understand the conditions of those, which the Buddha found as the cause of the fear, and cause of everything is the clinging or the attachment that we have. But failing to understand, then people actually resorted to these external agencies, and they started sort of like having a devotional practice. Sometimes maybe it might have worked for one person, might have worked for a second person, and then it then continued to be a massive gathering. So in those religions, the type of faith is like bhakti. Is devotion that you start having. Puja su anuraga bhakti. So when the objects or the persons that you worship or you pray, you have some sort of attachment, or like bond, or perhaps even like fear. Some of the gods and goddesses would have weapons and stuff. So there is fear, and therefore in Buddhism we don't see any worship as a contract. Worship is merely meditation. Whatever we do, chanting, is simply, if you know the meaning, they are chanted. One, it develops focus and one-pointedness, so your mind is very still and very serene. So that's the other part of Saddhā we're talking about in future. And secondly, it also, if you deeply know the meaning of the gathas, you will be internalizing those qualities and practicing them. You're practicing the Dhamma, and you feel the liberty within. You feel that liberty. When you learn how to even like practice simple thing like letting go, you feel so much freedom within yourself. So it is not a contract we are having with the Buddha, by offering these flowers, may I have this. By offering this, we are not making contract with the Buddha. When you say Buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi, we are not making a contract with the Buddha. You're not signing something, which means if it doesn't work, you run away or you disregard. That is not what happens in Buddhism. So what is it? So Buddhism therefore doesn't use the word bhakti, because when you have fear, you would actually work quite in an erratic way sometimes. I remember there's a story like which which quite widely said in Sri Lanka. One time there was a devotee worship in the temple, and then he happened to stay overnight because he observed 8 precepts, and then he started to sleep. And suddenly, when he started to sleep, he happened to just realize, oh, my feet is turning towards Anuradhapura, north. And Anuradhapura, this is where the Buddha's relic is. This is where the Swarnamali Chaitya is. And suddenly he stood up and then turned upside down. And then again, after a couple of minutes, he realized that his feet were facing, pointed towards Tissa Maharama. And again, he just stood up straight away, and then again, put his feet towards the west. And then he remembered the Kalani Chaitya. And then again, to put his feet towards the east. Then he had the Mihintale. And so the whole night he was standing up and putting his feet around, and he never got to sleep. He even stood up. And then he thought, oh, in the Nagaloka there is one of the Buddha's relic as well. So the whole night he was turning upside down and never being able to sleep, because his sort of his practice or his faith was controlling him in such a way that he feared that if his feet faced towards the religious object, he would actually get punishment. Or he would actually be causing a sin or something. So you can see how, when faith taken in a wrong context can actually be quite dangerous, can go as far as extremism, can go as far as fundamentalism. So faith has to actually be balanced with wisdom according to Buddhism. And therefore the word Saddhā comes in quite a different context. So it's nothing to do with you can have faith, so the type of faith that that is quite commonly shared with other religions would be the word pasada. You have faith in the object of worship, and the faith in the religion, or the faith in that. So that is one of the common words used. And this pasada is like you are pleased with what you are doing. You are not generating greed, hate or anger, but you are having it is giving a serene impact in your own mindset. You are pleased. So for example, if you pray to gods or goddesses or whatever religion, doesn't matter, you have that one-pointedness, and then you're pleased with that worship, you are pleased with that prayers, you're pleased in the chants, you're pleased but if you take that in a wrong context, then I think we have to be careful, obviously. So in Buddhism, what we do is we use that as a sense of conviction. So once that is the base, it becomes a sense of trust. Because when we have this trust in what we are doing, we feel that we have the can-do attitude. We develop confidence. Okay, we develop confidence in the Buddha. Now, when you develop confidence in the Buddha, now the Buddha is not alive. Okay, so Buddha is not alive. So when the Buddha is not alive, now how do we develop this confidence? So when you say Buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi, what are we saying? So we are saying that I have trust in the way the Buddha, or I have trust in enlightenment, in Buddhatta. I have trust, I have this confidence that I am actually practicing something, and I will look at the Buddha not as a god, not as a deity, not as anything, but as someone who has guided the world. And you have that trust in the teacher. If you don't have trust in the teacher, you will never master any science. You need to have the trust. As much as you have trust in your GP, you have trust in the teacher. So we are trusting in the Buddha's ways, and therefore as a teacher, as a person who actually revealed and guided and taught things, we have trust, we have faith in that. So we start develop this, because we do realize, Buddhism is quite different to other religions. At one time when a person came and asked the Buddha, "Who are you, a god?" Because Buddha was so serene, pleasantly sitting down. "Are you a god?" The Buddha said, "No." "Are you a demigod?" The Buddha said, "No." "Are you a human?" The Buddha said, "No." Now, obviously, everyone will be shocked when someone says you're not. So you're not a god, you're not a demigod, you're not a human, you're not a alien. So all of these questions, and the Buddha said, you can call me all of those if I have had lobha, dosa, moha in my minds and controlling myself. So none of these unwholesome factors are controlling me. None of these unwholesome factors exist within me. These roots do not exist within me. Lobha, dosa, moha, and all the other kilesas. If it was there, then you could have called me a human. If it was there, you could have called me a deva or asura, and so on. So the Buddha therefore said, I am simply the Buddha. I am the Buddha means he has if those factors were there, I would be quite similar to you, but I am not a similar person to you either. And he took an example of a lotus flower. I am like the lotus, blooming up the waters, and this is me. So this is paraphrased version, but it is in Anguttara Nikaya. So you can see that the Buddha actually wanted us to actually have some sort of confidence in what we do ourselves. So when we have the understanding of the Buddha's himself, what the Buddha taught, then only we can, I would say, say nicely and mean what when you say Dhammang Saranang Gacchami. You have faith, and you have trust, you have confidence, you have a conviction in the teachings of the Buddha. If you don't have faith in the doctor, you would not take the medicine the doctor gave. You would simply bin the prescription. So when you have faith in that, then you will slowly you will start working on the teachings of impermanence, the teachings of the Four Noble Truth, the teachings of reality that we could understand, the teachings of learning how to let go can bring freedom. Then you have this you have this faith developed so much so that you feel more comfortable. Dhammang Saranang Gacchami comes to reality. With the true understanding, you start trusting the Buddha's ways. You will start bringing into what the Buddha did in certain circumstances and the certain scenarios, the way the Buddha reacted to things, the way Buddha practiced, the way the Buddha never gave up. All of those things come into your true understanding, and you will then have so much faith in working with it. Imagine if you had no faith, if there was a strong current of water, like a stream of water, and maybe it was like a heavy rain previous night, you would not be able to cross the river, if you did not know how the river and what the things are there, particularly beneath the waters. So when you know what's there, you can slowly step and then start crossing the river. Like that, to cross the river or the oceans of samsara, waves of samsara, when we will use the Buddha's teachings as a raft to cross. Now the Buddha, simply said at one point, like in Alagadupam Sutta, don't take this raft home. Use the raft to cross, use the teachings to overcome your situation, and then leave it there. That's why Buddhism is not a creed or a tenet-based philosophy or religion. Buddhism is not dogmatic. The Buddha never said you have to come and actually do this. If you don't do this, you're going to get punished. If you don't do this, you're going to get punished, or you're going to go to hell. It doesn't say like that. So you got to actually try and understand the teachings of practice. That's why I said the Buddha has shown the path. To step to the path and walk is up to you. So if you don't realize, if you can't see what the Buddha said, you would not be able to understand what the Dhamma is. If you can't understand the Dhamma, you will not know what to do. When you know what to do, like this online community can be like a Sangha. We are like all following the practices or practicing the same Dhamma, practicing meditation, practicing chanting, practicing, being, let me use the word religious, observing things. They're all part of, having faith, because we do realize once we understand the Dhamma, it is easy to actually practice. So when you understand the Dhamma, you have faith and conviction in that Dhamma. You have faith in that as much as you have faith in the medicine of the doctor, then only you will take the tablet. So you are taking the tablet or you're taking the medicine with that faith, and that is like practicing the Dhamma. You are being part of the community. So when we have faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, from pasada, from actually having like a devout approach, we will make sure we'll be quite mindful that it doesn't go into like the a foolish faith, a foolish devotion. Sometimes we sometimes forget that there is no tick list in Buddhism, and when we do all these rituals, some people might think, if you don't light I remember when I was in Sri Lanka one time, people light like oil lamp and put it in the Buddha's hand, and that is quite perhaps how far can you actually make your faith ignorance? Then the oil will obviously it will ruin the statue paint or whatever it is. So you can see that sometimes, although we have devotion, we must not let it actually become an ignorant practice. So devotion should actually be helpful when you look at the kasinnas in meditation. All the devotion, the gathas, all the anusatis should help you to develop one-pointedness and be able to internalize the qualities that you are reflecting. And when that happens, there is serenity, there is piety, there is joy, there is happiness. And that itself is a good foundation to start thinking that if you do really, really understand and from that level, then you can come to the confidence level that whatever the Buddha taught, you actually have faith and you'd want to try it out. Okay, ehipasika, come and try. So you'd want to try it out, try. So yesterday when we said all about this virya, all about this sustained energy is, once you develop faith, then you can try what the Buddha wanted us to try, from dana to sila to bhavana. So if you don't have faith in, if you don't have confidence, and if you don't have conviction in even charity or dana, you will not do it. But if you understand the Buddha's teachings and engage in charity and dana, you will make it not a contractual thing like I will get this in future, or I might get this in future. You will not make it a contractual understanding, but you will start making a skillful understanding, which is dana will help me to reduce my greed, hate, ignorance, ego, all of those things. It will help me to reduce those, and then because this is when they are present, you are becoming self-centered. So you slowly sacrifice with your materialistic, to as far as to your time and wisdom and all those things. And a sila, if you don't have faith and mindfulness in sila, you will not observe sila. You will start losing your practice, loosening your practice. Today it's okay. Today one day. Tomorrow I will observe all the 5 precepts. Or tomorrow I won't do this. That is how. So when you have faith and trust in those words, you will actually truly work on something differently, and then that is where you can see that that is the stepping stone for your spiritual practice, saddha. Saddha, sila, sati, chaga, panya. So without that you will not practice what the Buddha said. So unless you understand who the Buddha is, what the Buddha said, what the Buddha has done, then by just saying Buddhaṃ Saranam Gacchāmi might not make that much of a sense. By just becoming a parrot would not be. So when you truly understand the Buddha's explanation of the teachings and stuff, then you will start seeing the Buddha's wisdom quite differently. And that's why at one point the Buddha said, Yo dhammang passati so mang passati. One who sees me, one who sees the Dhamma sees me. There was one time a monk who actually became a monk simply to be in the audience and stare at the Buddha's beauty. and that there wasn't a point, because he didn't become a monk because of of the Buddha, or because the Buddha was a special point. He actually just wanted to stare at the Buddha because the Buddha was so serene. So the Buddha said at that time, you can't truly understand the Buddha or enlightenment unless you understand the Dhamma. So at that point, actually, the Buddha said to Vakali a different message. But what I wanted to refer to, what that was, when you understand who the Buddha is, you will have a different type of feeling towards the Buddha. It is not a feeling of fear, it is a feeling of understanding. It is a feeling of realization. It is a feeling of wanting to practice what the Buddha said. You'll have the wow factor when you truly understand the Buddha. And therefore, when someone says devoutly Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, that is said out of that faith, Saddhā, not out of bhakti, fear. So all I wanted to actually would differentiate was the two words, bhakti and Saddhā, today. So if someone actually worships someone out of fear, that is bhakti, and that is quite the tradition that was there during the Buddha's time. And I think we never see the word bhakti used in Buddhism. It is Saddhā. So when it is Saddhā, there is a trait of that devotion front that you would see. One aspect of it is when you have devotion, you start doing all the rituals, but the ritual should only be a gradual entrance or a gateway to a spiritual practice and advancement. So when the devotion brings some sort of one-point focused attitude or one-pointedness, you will start having a peace of mind. As much as in other religions, when you pray and when you connect with the divine, you have that one-pointedness, one focused attitude. That itself is meditation. Okay, so that's why in the Anusatis we have this chantings and worship and so when you have that, you start, when there is one pointedness, then there is what we call pasada or piti. You have this joy, a serenity in your mind, and that itself is a blessing, because when there is so much stress and anxiety and everything going on, when you actually dedicate some time just to worship the Buddha or whatever faith that you practice, when you focus on that, you have a different feeling, and that is what this religious experience or this numinous feeling that you have when we engage in worship. However, Buddhism, we go a bit further more. We be mindful and we apply wisdom, and therefore if we don't apply wisdom, we will see that Saddhā can go in the wrong way, and then we will do all the rituals, because Buddha is not in the rituals, Buddha is not in the beating of drums, Buddha is not in the flowers, Buddha is not in the light, Buddha is not in the statue. Okay, so but we are now focusing on the concept of enlightenment and the teacher, and therefore when you use the Buddha as a guide, we feel very different. Then we will start practicing the Dhamma. We'll feel like wanting to practice the Dhamma. As I said, the Buddha has shown the treasure, has given us the map of the treasure. All we have to do is practice what the Buddha said. You can start with simple meditation, or you can start with charitable work. You can start with precepts in your physical and verbal restraint, dana, sila, bhavana, and they will be the stepping stone to actually have the taste of what the Buddha taught us. Then that is when you trod the path, you are being with the community that practice the same thing. So then Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sanang Saranang Gacchami will really make a sense. Okay, so my differentiation between bhakti, please don't take it as an offense if you do actually worship the Buddha with certain reasons, or if you actually pray to God in a different religion. What I have been trying to do is actually to differentiate the word Saddhā, which is quite widely used in Buddhism, and even in that stanza, this monk had no Saddhā. This monk had no faith in what he was trying, what he was doing. So he actually entered the order with his elder brother, but never showed interest in the Buddha's teachings, was always entertaining himself, and eventually he again went back to his former wives, leaving the order. So you can see that when you don't see the Buddha, you don't see the Dhamma, and you don't see the essence of the practice. So how can you then start practicing something when you don't see and truly understand the essence of it? So the rituals, everything do really make sense. They are the gateway to the spiritual practice. And when we develop this, when we mature in this, Baulikataya, when we do this as a habit, it becomes a good, strong, internal force, which then you can always make use of in terms of developing panya. So with that short reflection on Saddhā, what this Saddhā means, it is not the type of devotion or faith as in bhakti. It is not the type of ritualistic approach. Although we can take that as a devotion and a gateway, it is the type of faith and conviction that you start having when you understand what the Buddha taught. And therefore, when we see that, we can see there is no need for an external agency to find happiness within ourselves, to find happiness in your family, or to maintain peace of mind within the family and your personal life as well. So therefore, you can see, as I said earlier, there is no central focus of creator God in Buddhism for that reason. Okay, so hence Saddhā has a very different connotation. In simple terms, it is the trust, the confidence, it is the it is the possible attitude, and when you start working on it, you will start, only if you start understanding back to the way you are. You're very peaceful, you're not thinking anything of the past, not thinking of anything of the future. Happiness, because out of kindness you are generating this happiness, not bringing negative. So with that understanding, just wish yourself every happiness and well by contemplating on these words. May I be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to me. May no problems come to me. May no difficulties come to me. May I always meet with success. May I also have the patience, courage and understanding to meet and overcome difficulties in life. May I be free from pain and suffering. May I be free from anxiety, anger, and jealousy. May my parents, grandparents, teachers, uncles, aunts and in-laws, husband, wife, spouse, partner, children, grandchildren, brothers, sisters, cousins, nephews and nieces, friends, colleagues, neighbors, and some neutral people you meet daily. May they all be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no problems come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they always meet with success. May they also have the patience, courage and understanding to meet and overcome difficulties in life. May they be free from anxiety, anger and jealousy. May they be free from pain and suffering. May all living beings, including plants, birds, animals and insects that come to your garden, seen and unseen beings, including all sentient beings, be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no problems come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they always meet with success. May they also have the patience, courage and understanding to meet and overcome difficulties in life. May they be free from pain and suffering. May I be well, happy and peaceful. May I be free from pain and suffering. Okay, so that is the end of our today's broadcast. Every day we go live at 6:30 with our evening Buddha Puja, chanting, Dhamma reflection and meditation to provide you some space to practice the Dhamma from home while during this lockdown. So we hope the time that you spend with us is fruitful, and especially during this bus retreat we engage in such practices to enhance our knowledge in the Dhamma so that we can freely practice the Dhamma. And when we make this a habitual practice, it will help us in our personal spiritual growth, and hopefully we will be trotting the path towards Nibbana. So please join us again tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. I wish you all the very best. Have a very happy evening. Sadhu, sadhu.